Good day, everyone. I hope you're all doing great. Today, I'm going to talk about something that's been mooted many times before, and I want you to really get to understand the situation that we're in. And many people might say, yes, I know we are in a bad situation financially as a country within South Africa, but I'm going to explain to you how bad it is and why it's going to be difficult to turn it around. And this is based on an article in Daily Investor where they give you graphs, and the article headline says South Africa heading for a fiscal cliff. Now, there's been many fiscal cliff articles over the past 10 years because we were heading in the wrong direction with our economic growth basically stagnant for a full decade now. And the problem here is that our debt has just increased, and we will get to the nitty-gritty details just now. It's not going to be a very long video, so stay with me. The crux at the end of the day is going to be important, and I want you to really get that and understand it, because you can play a part in changing this outcome for the country. The other alternative is that the country's normal financial system will collapse, and I said before that if the government doesn't change certain things, that this is inevitable. It will happen, and it will happen soon, and I'll explain now why that is the case. So South Africa heading for a fiscal cliff, and they explain quite nicely here that South Africa's nominal GDP, or gross domestic product, has grown at a rate slower than the country's long-term interest rates, meaning the country is heading for a fiscal cliff. Now, this has been the case for a long time. This is not that much news, and most people expect the country to collapse at any second financially, okay? The gap between nominal economic growth and the interest rates the government pays on its debts has widened over the past decade. This is primarily due to poor economic growth and the government's deteriorating creditworthiness over the past decade. Now, that is just financial speak at this stage. We will get to the crux of the problem just now. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, explained the potentially disastrous consequences this dynamic could have for South Africa. Now, this is very fancy and fine talk at this stage. In its latest economic survey of the country, the organization outlined some of the reasons for South Africa's poor growth over the past decade and how its economy can be revived. Enter cut spending, okay, which is not going to happen. I mean, this government, the government of national unity, depends on spending, especially taking money from people, handing it out in other places so that they stay in power. That is the main problem here. One of the biggest threats to the South African future economic growth is the government's poor financial health and significant debt load. So this has got nothing to do with us just growing economically. The debt is at a point where just covering the interest on that debt, we can't do that anymore. So there is a finite end date to this. If the economy doesn't start growing by at least 3% per year, and we'll get to the details of that just now. It says that this problem began in 2010 as the government increased spending without corresponding economic growth. So we didn't have the economic growth that could basically cover the spending. While one deficit is not an issue in itself, the OECD said that the persistent primary and full budget deficits have increased South Africa's debt load to the point where it puts the country's financial sustainability at risk. Now, that word sustainability and the country's sustainability, financial sustainability being at risk, I don't think a lot of people understand what that means. When you owe other people money and you cannot pay those debts anymore, they're going to want something in return. And this is really the crux for me, because I like my freedom. I hope that many of you like your freedom too. And when your government cannot pay its debts, what are they going to do? What is the country they owe the debt to going to do to us? Normally you repossess something. Think about that for a moment. While public debt has risen from 31.5% of GDP in 2010 to a projected 77% of GDP in 2025, with the government last running a full budget surplus in 2008. So in 2008, we were generating enough income to actually cover our debt. That's 2008. This is many, many years later. 17 years later. And we have not had a budget surplus since then. Think about the implications of that. And people are carrying on their merry way, spending money, making debt, getting bonds on houses, buying expensive cars, as if there is no financial crisis in our country. We are in a huge financial crisis. You can have a debt to GDP ratio that is horrific. If you have economic growth, you can overcome that. Our debt to GDP ratio is tiny compared to many other countries. But we have no economic growth because our current government don't know how to grow the economy, because we have the African National Congress, who's been in charge for many years, and they were a liberation movement. They don't know how to run a country, run an economy. They don't actually agree with most of Western economics or first world economics or whatever the case may be. Whether you agree with it or not is irrelevant. It's how it affects our country within the global space. In rand terms, and this is the kicker, this situation we're in, okay, translates to 426 billion over the next financial year. That has to be repaid in debt interest. The government will spend over $1 billion a day to service its debt. Just to service debt. Over $1 billion a day. Well, it's way over $1 billion a day at 426 billion this year, which is not coming towards us. This growing fiscal pressure limits the government's ability to fund essential services, meet social needs, and invest in economic growth. So, the municipalities that don't have money because of many things like corruption, etc., the government that can't spend on a national level, it's because we are servicing massive debt. Imagine what we can do with 426 billion. How many power stations we can build for electricity, how many sewage plants we can build, how much we can put into water infrastructure, and many other things. All the floods that happened in the Eastern Cape right now. You can make sure that there's proper drainage in places, in cities, etc. You can make sure that people don't live in floodplains. I can carry on and on. So over the next 3 years, the government will spend more on debt servicing costs than on health, basic education, and social development. So all of those things, which is some of the biggest spending of our government, health, basic education, and social development, they will spend more on repaying debt than on that. And this is not sustainable. This is why we're heading towards this fiscal cliff. The OECD explained that the rise in debt servicing costs is seriously troubling for economic growth and provision of basic services. However, it is even more concerned about the interest paid on the debt exceeds the country's nominal economic growth. And this is the crux. And a lot of people don't understand this link. So if your debt servicing, the interest on your debt, is growing because your country is a bad risk for debt, and your economic growth is poor, you literally cannot catch up. We will not be able to catch up. And in fact, they actually tell us here how long it will take for a recovery to actually happen. If we're at 3% growth per year, and I want to make that clear to you, this trend has been sustained for the past decade, with a gap between nominal GDP growth and interest rate widening in recent years. It was clear that this is not because South Africa's interest rates are high compared to where they were in the past and outstripping economic growth, but rather that growth has fallen away while interest rates have remained relatively flat. So our growth has gone away. We used to have massive growth initially under our first transitional government. Our economic growth was huge. And people might see it as that it was artificial at the time, the country was on a high and many other things. But that is gone. Our growth has stagnated for a very long extended time. So the interest rates have remained relatively flat, but our economic growth has dropped. The government borrows at an interest rate of approximately 9%, while nominal economic growth stands at around 5%. Tax revenue will grow more or less in line with nominal economic growth over time, assuming a steady tax to GDP ratio. Here's the problem. The only way they can solve this is to tax us more or to stop spending. The gap between interest rates and growth, sometimes expressed as ROG by economists, renders borrowing unsustainable since debt compounds faster than the income needed to service it. This is just an impossibility at this stage. This sits at the core of South Africa's fiscal challenge, as debt servicing costs are the fastest growing expenditure item in the budget, with the government having to spend over 1 billion a day on interest payments. So it's the fastest growing item in the budget, and it's not an item they can stop. This is the government budget. Servicing debt. It's growing the fastest. Not fixing roads or building infrastructure. No, servicing debt. Since the government cannot directly control economic growth or the interest rate at which it borrows, which is determined by the bond market, it must focus on reducing its borrowing requirement. Okay, less money. This is called fiscal consolidation, but is necessarily painful since it relies on some combination of either higher taxes or less spending. What I said earlier, it's as simple as that. The country could, of course, rapidly increase its economic growth to try and grow away the debt problem, but this is unlikely, and I'm sure most of you will agree with this. Research from Coronation shows, and this is important, that South Africa's economy needs to grow at 3% per annum to stabilize the government's debt load at around 80% of its GDP. At the moment, it's over 70%. To stabilize at 8%, we need to start growing now at 3% per year and gradually improve its financial health. So you will basically go up, stabilize, and then hopefully come down and be able to pay off that debt. Even at this higher rate of growth, it will take years to stabilize the debt load and then decades to steadily pay it down. What this government has done to us is they've left a fiscal nightmare for our children. And the countries that we owe this debt to is going to have us by the balls, and they're going to squeeze the crap out of us. That's all I can tell you. And I don't think a lot of people understand what that is going to look like. The graph below shows the gap between South Africa's nominal GDP growth and the interest rate the government pays on debt. You'll have a link to this article in the description below this video, as well as in the first comment, where you can go and look at that graph and see that we are really in a serious state. This means that we need to start growing at 3% per year. We know this year it's not going to happen. Next year it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen the following year. So what we are waiting for is this total collapse of our government. And a lot of you know that it is coming. A lot of you understand economics. Those of you that do not, go and read the article. Don't believe what I tell you, and try and understand what is happening. If we cannot service our debt, we as a country, us as a people of the country who are collateral for our debt and money being printed, etc., will pay the price for what this government has done. So hold on to your fancy cars for now, and your fancy houses and your bonds and so on. It's going to change drastically, and this collapse will happen before 2029. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for subscribing to this channel. Those of you that have, we have a plan to mitigate all of this absolute freaking nonsense that is coming our way. Things that we didn't vote for, things that we didn't ask for. Because this political system in South Africa with the constitution was written and created to destroy this country. And a lot of people think that we have a wonderful constitution. People aren't open to even thinking that we have been set up and that there's been many Trojan horses built into that constitution to allow the government to get us to the point we are at now. Please comment in this video. Tell me how you feel about the financial situation and how you think it's going to affect you. Like this video, share it with your friends and family. Till the next video.